The first one says, Geri, I'm a high school English teacher.
Yeah.
What book from your youth changed you the most? That's from Jeff from Atlanta. And then someone else asked, who was your favorite author as a kid? So I'm going to put those two together.
Okay.
So, yeah.
His name's Jeff.
Jeff from Atlanta.
Jeff. Is he here? Oh, hi, Jeff. Hi. Hi. Do you know what? The name Jeff. Okay. When I was pregnant, we used to call the baby Jeff. Anyway, Jeff, and it's the name of my agent as well. Anyway, so it's a good name. Okay, Jeff.
Well done, Jeff.
Yeah, and also my mother, she used to say to me, she's Spanish. She used to say, "I don't want to be a teacher. Get a proper job." She'd like Jeff. So, what was my favourite?
Favorite book from your youth and your favorite author?
There's all sorts of books that have influenced me, I would say, and there's certain ones they leave sort of an impression on your heart, and I would say that's timeless, and that would be The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. You know, when you just go through the wardrobe, you're transported to Narnia. I love that. And I always like the sort of combat of good and evil. You know, the challenging within yourself, you know, the Edmund and...
Oh, yeah.
Because there's an Edmund in all of us that just wants to, you know, just wants to evil.
Turkish delight.
Turkish delight. That's simple. I just think that's, yeah, it's not about the Turkish. Everyone's got a Turkish delight, whatever it is. It's quite interesting. That stayed with me. Enid Blyton, which is very, very English, the naughtiest little girl in school, which had a trunk. I was really little, but then when I was older, you know, I'd read Jackie Collins. So it's a bit rude.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But one thing that I would say is I try never to underestimate how smart kids are. You know, there's so much. Like my daughter, when she was about 10, she read my favourite book. Is The Book Thief?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
Marcus
amazing.
Sisson.
Yeah, it's amazing. That's probably my favourite book.
Oh,
Yeah, it's really good.
okay. Who's editor? All right. Next question for you. And Enid Blyton never took off in America. I don't know why, but all very popular, but not popular in America. All right. This one is: you've said you're a history buff. Any particular events provide inspiration for your work? That's from Alicia.
Well, I think if anybody looks at the Tudors, I mean, it's so dramatic and inflammatory in so many ways. You're like, really? Did that really happen? So, I mean, Rosie Frost, although it's set in modern times, it really does reflect back. If you want a little bit of history, it's just leaning it in there. Anne Boleyn, she does, you know, the ghost of Anne Boleyn comes into the story. And just looking at that, but to remark, do you know what, a question that I asked myself, who writes history? I read that and I thought that's true. Who wrote that? Who recorded those events of that version of that person? I thought that's a really interesting question to ask. And then reminding myself that actually all these people in history that we read about, forget they're human. You know, that's a human being, you know, a woman of 30. And then just looking at Queen Elizabeth I, what she had to do in her time. She was 26 years old and become, you know, a queen of England, and she became and built this, you know, amazing. She was such a strong queen and so respected and revered of her time. You just think, wow, that's inspiring. But what happened was, which we might find interesting, that so when Anne Boleyn, she knew she was going to die, she left her daughter a rule book with 4 rules in it.
I was going to ask you, because don't those 4 rules appear in the book?
Yes.
What are the 4 rules?
Okay, so everyone called Anne Boleyn the Falcon Queen, okay? And she left these Falcon Queen rules for her daughter. It's a bit like going, I'm not going to be here, but here's 4 rules to help you get by. And these 4 rules then are given to Rosie Frost. But these 4 rules, I believe anyone could use these 4 rules. Okay, so I'll share the 4 rules.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first rule is have courage. Take the chance you fear the most. And that's, I'm always a little bit, always be all right, just go for it anyway. Number 2 is united we stand, divided we fall. So, when I'm up against something, when I feel, bullied or, I've got to go for something, it's not just resting on my power, it's, together we do it. And then the third rule is never give up. Be the light, serve your kingdom, you'll win your fight. So it's kind of saying, actually, when I'm here, and sometimes I think, oh God, maybe I'm a bit tired or I'm a bit scared. But if I know that I'm being of service, be the light, serve you, then it becomes, it's like a superpower. Because then that way, you might think something of me that I don't like, but actually it's not about me. And then suddenly you become a bit more forthright in your direction. It's really helpful. And then the 4th rule is probably one that we can all do with, which is to thine own self be true. That's Shakespeare. If you like not these rules, make up your own. And I think that's quite useful, just being your own lane. There's no right way to do it. And I think in the world that we live in, where we can't change whether that person likes us, what the weather's going to be, whether we get the job, or blah blah blah. But if I can have self-confidence, if I can have good self-worth, that's such a good ammunition, or it's fortifying. And I think those 4 rules help me do that.
That's awesome. Thank you. This one actually we already answered. This was from Carl asking, have you begun writing your next book?
Yes.
Or do you have an idea in your mind for a follow-up? Yeah, you already covered that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Someone dies.
Would you want your book to be a movie adaptation? And if so, who would play Rosie? That's from Violet.
Yes. And then I see the person that plays Rosie would be probably a person that was not famous.
An unknown.
Unknown. I think that's. But I'd see like someone a bit like either. Let me think. Have you seen Stranger Things?
Yes.
So I think her name is Max Sadie.
Oh, Max.
Yeah, but she's going to be a younger her.
No, let's just get
Max. I think she's amazing. That's how I'd see her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Or you go like, yes, to find, and they don't have to be the loudest person in the room to be the strongest. And then you look back at Lindsay Lohan or Drew Barrymore when they were younger, and they just, what I like about all of them, none of them are perfect.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You feel like, yeah, I would want you on my team.
Yeah, they were relatable.
Relatable, I think it's important.
No, that's true. I still think Max is such a good
That's good, yeah? Max.
Okay, this one comes from Scotty, who wrote Scotty Spice.
Scotty, Scotty.
Yes. Can you share what your inspiration is and anything about your creative writing process?
I've it's changed, and as I've learned different things. One thing like that, it was a comedian, Dawn Friend. She's really talented. She told me, and she writes books, and she said, Geri, you've got to leave your phone outside of the room.
Oh, that's good.
Because otherwise, suddenly it just pulls you out. It's just an absolute creative killer. So you have to turn off any emails coming through, so you can just really focus. Then I read this book by Stephen King.
On writing.
Yes, and he said, and I sort of got to this later, but he said, go somewhere like there's no distraction in darkness, which is so you're completely immersive. That is quite interesting. Yeah. What else? I don't think that, for me, I'm sort of learning as I go, because I don't have any set rules, but also set times, that discipline.
Yeah. I don't think many people know that Stephen King did one of the best writing books of all
It's
time.
really good. It's really good.
Yeah.
In there, he says, "Kill your darlings."
I don't think he's ever done it. All right, Geri, will you ever gift us with another autobiography? Asks Corey from Canada.
No, Corey. Do you know what? When I think about that autobiography, and it was, I think it was quite refreshing at its time because it was quite honest, which I'm pleased about. But part of me goes, do you know what I mean? That was hopefully like a quarter of a lifetime. And so if it felt okay to do, and if it felt authentic and the right thing to do, but I've got some living to do, yes. We'll see.
Right. Okay, let's see. This one actually is also from Scotty. Scotty, you wrote your name. That's okay. How difficult has it been for you to make yourself and your family a priority over your career, and what advice do you have to women trying to balance it all like you have? What advice would you give them?
Yeah, I mean, it's, for anyone, I think these days there's so many, I think whether it's men, women, anybody, that we're all trying to find that balance, and, I think we're all learning. And I felt it definitely when, in my 30s, thinking, when I had my first child, and I thought, actually, I want to be present, but then equally, I want to be a creative person. So, a present mother, creative, how can I balance that? And so, I was doing, and I still do it. What I like about writing is that you can do it anywhere. So that was brilliant. So as soon as I'd done the school run, I'd run back to the desk. And so that was helpful. And then if I went away now with my husband, I can take my laptop and just ignore everyone, and then I do it then. So it's quite useful. I think that it really suits my life for that reason. It's not. I think everyone struggles with whatever job you are, because it's nice to be able to go to work and share that example, but then you want to be present for your children. So, yeah.
What character from Rosie Frost would you play in the movie version?
Do you know what? I don't know. I have to think about it.
You never got that question?
Well, I have. But
I see.
The part, I thought, oh yeah, I'll give myself that part. But now I'm thinking, time's getting on a bit. You're too yeah. And so I want to do. I love playing the casting role. So yeah.
Okay.
There are some really good characters in that. Do you know what I was writing? I love the bad. I don't like saying baddies because I don't think anybody is bad. I think in every bit of bad, there's a bit of good. I think real people, we're three-dimensional. But when you get to behave badly, like to a character, you're not going to get in trouble. It's quite good fun.
Plus, it's just fun to hear the word baddies.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to end with this one. And I think this is a good one to end with. This is from Sarah. And she asks, and this could apply to your writing. It could also apply to your life. Have you ever felt stuck? And how did you get past it?
Yeah, I think we can all feel stuck. And I think that one of the worst things in life is indecision. When you're just like, is it this, is it this? And sometimes I'm learning that, because I'm quite impatient, I would say, to allow that feeling, to say, okay, I don't know your way. And just to be in that moment. And then sometimes, we have to show up anyways, those 4 rules. Have courage, just show up anyway, even if it's wrong. 2, lean on, united we stand. Number 3, don't make it be of service, just it's not about you. And 4, just give it a go, make your own rules. Just sometimes you just have to show up. I don't think there's a right way to do it. Just giving yourself the grace of mistakes and just like allowing it to wherever you are in life, I think.
Well, Geri, thank you so much for joining us here today. And I think we're going to get to the next part here.
Yeah.